Hey, hey, hey! How's everybody doing tonight? It is another wonderful day here in sunny Kelowna, where I'm living. You guys live where you live, but coming to you live from my wonderful little apartment or house, little house. Why did I call it apartment? I don't know. From my bedroom, where the magic happens. Oh, yes. I see we have so many people already here. Wow, holy smokes. I think we even had a troll, which is all good. It's all good. Remember, trolls, hit that dislike button. I know you want to. But Christian Spencer was first in the chat tonight. Hey, yes, it was your 22nd birthday yesterday, so happy birthday. I remember 22 like it was just yesterday. I do. It goes by quick, my friend. So enjoy it while you have it. Because, yeah, man, I remember 22 like nothing. Anyways. It's actually my mom's birthday today, too. So today is my mom's birthday. Happy birthday to my mom. So everybody say a wonderful happy birthday to my mom. Because I won't say how old she is, but she's getting up there. But not too old still. She's, still going strong. Anyways. The Drayton Sawyer is also in. Hey, Jared. We got Jimmy James Presley. Hey, man. Thank you so much. Will Smith. Is this the Will Smith? Can I be the Trey Songz version in your movie? Sure. We don't have that kind of character, though. But that's awesome. Who else we got here? Stephanie Diaz early tonight. Well, hey, I like it. It's all good. New York Giants fan. Oh, New York Giants fan. I've seen the new TCM at a private screen. Are you Mr. H's source? Either way, you've broken your NDA, but I guess they can't tell who New York Giants fan is. And let me tell you, they actually answer. Yeah, I heard about the Instagram Live. Is a little bit of a spoiler there, guys, but yeah, that's what happened. Am I still on the air? Yeah, okay. I see somebody said dead air. Oh, bears are dead. Okay, bars are dead here. Okay. Man, I misread your comment there, Jared. Yeah, Instagram Live. That sounds kind of weird. Anyways. We had issues last week. That's why I just had to double check. And Jared, you said dead here. I'm like, is anybody there dead here? That's what I read. I'm like, oh, no, not again. I still have no idea what happened last week. If you tuned in last week, we had to restart it. Let's hope we don't have to restart this one, because I hated having to do that when we had so many people in the chat. We already have a lot of people in the chat already. I'd like to keep you guys in. I'd like to, but, shit happens. It happened last week. It happened again. So, yes, thank you for saying happy birthday to my mom. And remember to wish Christian a happy birthday as well. So we had Stephanie Diaz, Mandy Cantone. Hey, thank you so much for that. And, hey, Jason Knight, J-Man's Movie Cave. Hey, thank you for dropping by. And Degree Centigrade is also here. Holy smokes. Big chat group already. So there you go. That's awesome. So very, very cool. While we've got all you guys in the chat, I want to take this opportunity to tell you guys I'm thinking of switching my time to 7 p.m. Pacific rather than 8 p.m. I hope that's okay. I won't do it quite yet. I'll try to ease into this transition. I was going to announce it last week, and then all the frickin' stream broke on me, and it just kind of ruined everything. But it happens. Stream is still good. I always want to check every 2 seconds now just to make sure we got a healthy stream. It looks like we do, though, so that's good. Anyways. So, yeah, I'm looking at switching to 7 p.m. rather than 8 p.m. So moving it an hour earlier. It could make for a slightly longer show as well. We'll see. Shows could be as long as 2 hours if we do that, but we'll see. I'm able to do it now. Things have kind of changed where I can. Let me know if you guys have an issue with that. If you guys absolutely don't want me to start at 7 p.m., I won't. I just feel like there's enough. I have enough of you guys that are from the East Coast that I think a slightly earlier time would benefit you. Some of you are like, that's a little late for me, and I totally get it. It's 11 p.m. your time on the East Coast, so I just want to do it to accommodate you. However, I want to try to ease into that transition because anytime I just switch times for whatever reason, and sometimes it's happened. I don't do it very often, but it seems to throw some people for a loop. So I don't want to do that to you guys. I want to make sure you guys know well in advance. It won't be on my next show. My next show is actually going to be pretty close. It's going to be on Monday next week, and we'll actually be discussing It's Me Billy because It's Me Billy releases tomorrow. I'm super excited for it. And so by Monday I think that's a good time to discuss that film. And looking in the chat, it looks like everybody seems to be more or less okay with me switching it up to 7 p.m. from what I can see from whoever's chatting, whoever says it's okay. Carlos, Lazy Reviewer, is also in the chat. New York. So reshoots will definitely be done. You think for the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film? Sounds like, from what I heard from Mr. H reviews, they need to reshoot the whole movie, but but who knows? We'll see. Somebody broke their NDA. That's all I know. But yeah, I really hope they get rid of it sounded like there was a lot they needed to get rid of in that movie. It did. Anybody else new in the chat? Yeah, Tiffany Moses Sinte. I'm sorry if I'm totally. We'll call you Tiffany. Tiffany with a PH, which is neat, by the way. Thank you for joining the chat. I believe you are new to this chat as well. I don't believe I've ever seen that name. Maybe you've changed your name from something else. Who knows? But sometimes people do that, so that's cool too. Gotta give my shout outs. Got a lot of shout outs today. Of course, if you've been here before, you obviously know that I support one of our viewers, Michelle Appollonia from Breathless Beauties. So here's some of her work. She makes these very awesome horror themed dolls, and I love giving her some support. There's the Crow, pretty cool. There's my guy Leatherface. And yeah, so Breathless Beauties, her links are in the description for her Facebook page and her Instagram page. And you just drop her a message and say, hey, I want something custom made, and she'll do it for you. So there you go. And free shipping in the U.S. with her as well. Also supporting Miss 44, that's Michelle Blasky. I don't see her in tonight yet, but you never know, she might make it. She has pretty interesting artwork, I gotta say. The cows, I like it though. I like it's kind of obscure. It's kind of it's definitely different, and I appreciate different stuff. So this is her stuff. Yeah, just really dig it. She's got a Facebook page, and I think she's got a website of some kind as well. Again, links are in the description. Go check them out. And also, just a reminder, also, to make sure you do like and subscribe to this video, to this live stream. It really helps the channel. We're moving along. We're up to 1,200 subscribers now, which is great. But you know what? I'm still not monetized yet. And probably if I did more live streams, I would get monetized. But apparently you need like so many views, so I probably just need to do more live streams in order to get monetized, but that's okay. It's not a big deal to me. I'm just kind of doing this for fun, but I do appreciate the support. So like and subscribe if you haven't already. Obviously, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I see we got Bill Lambert in here. We got Bill Lambert, and we got Kyle Curtis Flett. Hey, Kyle, how you doing? Guys, go check out Kyle's channel as well. He's just started a new channel, doing some different stuff on his channel. Go and support his channel because it's pretty new, and he could use your support. So thank you guys for all tuning in. It's awesome. Let's talk about some fan films that are still crowdfunding on Indiegogo. Of course, I'm a big supporter of fan films. So we still have we have 2 Halloween fan films actually crowdfunding right now that I want to mention. All these links are in the description, folks. So Haddonfield Nightmare is still crowdfunding on Indiegogo. And another Halloween fan film that Jimmy actually brought to my attention is Halloween Evil Lives. So that Indiegogo is in the description as well. Both of them look pretty cool. And as well, My Special Boy is still crowdfunding as well. And Valentine Bluffs, they're in demand now. They actually they hit their goal, and they actually hit their first stretch goal already, and they're in demand. They want to hit stretch goal number 2 though. I think that allows them to make it a feature film, or was it add more gore or something like that. We want it to be gory. That's all I know. So help them hit their second stretch goal, because we love some blood and guts, and I love it. MC, is that Miss Carter? MC? I just want to, because I saw you in Matt Facci's stream earlier with the Good Real Hunting. Just want to make sure that's Miss Carter. You see, you YouTubers change your names sometimes. I changed my name. My YouTube channel was my name, Steve Merlo, up until around Christmas, and then I rebranded Meat Mungus Merlo. I don't know why I thought of calling it Meat Mungus Merlo, but I did. I don't know. I don't know if it's the best name for the channel, but I was like, I need something more interesting. And it is more interesting. And I am very meat mungus. Oh, man. And another new chat. We've got Fernando. I don't believe I know who you are as well. Are you the guy making the new TCM? I'm the guy making the new TCM fan film. I'm not making the new TCM film. Which is, we talked about the test screenings for it already. But yeah, I'm making the fan film. So you've probably seen our trailer. Very, very cool. Thank you for joining the chat, Fernando. So thank you very much. But today we're going to be talking about, what am I talking about again? I can't even remember. What my personal opinion is on some of the scariest scenes in movies. I was thinking about trying to do like a top 10 with this, and rank them. I didn't feel like that was a good idea when I did this, though. Looking at it, because quite honestly, I don't think I could actually come up with 10 scenes that really truly scare me. It's just not a lot really scares me, so just keep that in mind. Feel free, all of you, to post yours though, okay? Because I'd like to see what everybody finds different things scary. At the end of the day, everybody finds different things scary. For me, I don't find anything with zombies very scary. I don't find anything with ghosts very scary. So any of that kind of supernatural, paranormal kind of stuff doesn't do it for me, you know. So you can't expect to see anything quite like that on my list, on this list, and it's not really a ranking. Just keep that in mind. It's just a list of, it's just a bunch of films, scenes in films that I particularly find scary or creepy or disturbing. Those are kind of the things I'm going for. So you might think you're going to see a lot of the jump scares that were on last week's episode. However, I mean, you won't see a lot of those, because jump scares are kind of a different beast. They're a moment, and sometimes they're a good moment, and sometimes they're like, oh, really, kind of moment. And a lot of times I get that with jump scares. And even though last week I ranked my top 10 jump scares, I don't know if I could really say like the scenes as a whole was, for a lot of them anyways, were really that scary. So with that in mind, we'll do this. We'll talk about them a little bit, and we'll have some fun with it. Oh, and by the way, before I even get to that, just want to make sure you guys remember that the Sawyer Massacre does have our pre-launch page. It's live right now. You can sign up for free. If you're interested in pre-ordering for the early bird special, let me know. All you have to do is email me. My email is in the is on the pre-launch page. So email me whatever you want to pre-order, and I'll make a special. I'll make that perk special for you, so only you will get it. That kind of thing. It's called a secret perk, basically. So just so you know, it's live. We've had a good number of people sign up already, which is great. It's not even June yet. This is going all the way until June 15th, but we're almost at 50 people signed up, I believe. So that's really, really good. But we'd like more. We want to hit that Indiegogo right out of the gate. So the more pre-orders we get, the better. Because man, it'd be awesome if we just hit our goal right on the first day. I'm not saying we don't have to do that, but boy oh boy, it would be great if we did. Hey, Doomsday Kingdom Army's in the chat. Michelle Blasky's now in the chat as well. Holy smokes. We got everybody here tonight. That's great. Glad to have you all along. Hopefully my stream is still going. It looks like it is. I'm checking it. I have to check it to make sure, because after last week, I did not like having to restart that stream. I was so pissed that I had to restart. I kept trying to get it back on, and it just wouldn't do it. And it was bummer. First time I ever had to do that, though, and I know some of the bigger YouTubers have had to do that multiple times, and it's just sometimes shit happens. I don't know what the reason was. I don't know if we had a crappy internet connection here. Although my computer said we had a strong one, but who knows? I don't know. It's technology. If any of you actually know technology and can shed some light on what happened, maybe there's some way I can avoid it in the future. But I'm not very good with technology. I can't believe I ever figured out how to do these live streams, but, but I did, and I actually really enjoy doing them. I love chatting with you guys. So thank you guys all for joining in. Let's talk about these a little bit. So these are, without further ado, I'll start sharing some of my favorite, what I think are some of the scariest horror scenes. Again, some of you might be saying, why isn't this one on there? Why isn't this one on there? And why do you have that one on there? And that's all good. Again, what scares me might not scare you, and what scares you won't scare me. Again, I've only got I think there's 7 particular scenes I put on here. Because those were the only ones I really felt really worthy. 7 is not that much. There was close to putting a couple others on here, but ultimately I just settled on these. Anyways, without further ado, first one. Hey, might as well talk about this. It was my number 1 jump scare last week, and that's Ben Gardner's head, from Jaws. I said a lot about this last week, but the scene as a whole, I believe it or not, I was thinking of leaving this off because ultimately I don't tend to really find Jaws to be a very scary film. As well, it's one of my favorite films of all time, in my top 5 films of all time. But as a scary movie, I never really think of it much of as a scary movie. But after having that as my number 1 jump scare, I kind of look at that scene as a whole. As soon as you see Hooper's boat in the water, it's always kind of done something for me. Hey, Rob Mahoney's in the Rob Bruins guy Mahoney, you're in the chat. Good to see you again. Good to see you out of Facebook jail as well. Man, and Good Real Hunting is in the chat as well. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you so much for joining. So talking about this scene in Jaws, when I look at the whole scene, all the way back from as soon as you see Hooper's boat in the water and it starts going, it kind of brings me back to, watching Jaws as an 8-year-old kid, like I had first done, and I watched it for the first time. And every time we taped it off TV, we taped it with the commercials and everything. It was stupid. Obviously, we didn't know how to do it much back then. It was the 80s, guys. So VCRs were new. So yeah, we had commercials and everything. But every time we would watch it off the tape that we had taped it from, every time as soon as I saw Hooper's boat scene, it's like, oh, the head scene is coming up. The head scene is coming up. It was like, oh, so it's still just as soon as that boat comes up, I'm like, back when I first watched it, I would dart out of the room. I would dart out for like 10, 15 minutes and make sure that the head scene was done before I would come back in. And I eventually eased myself back into watching it. But, yeah, so I think that scene really gets scary once Hooper's sonar is kind of going off. You know, it's like, oh, that's nothing. It's just a school of mackerel or something, right? And then all of a sudden it really starts going off, and you're thinking, is it the shark? Oh, there's something else out there. I think that's when it really kind of starts to kick into gear, and you start to think, hey, something's happening here. Are they going to be attacked by the shark? And then they come across the boat. It's creepy looking too. When they come across that boat in the dark, and the way they light that boat with the spotlights and everything, it's creepy. There's something creepy about that whole scene. So not just Hooper in the water, and it's that whole build up to it. I think that's the one scene from Jaws that it makes this very, very small list of mine of I believe seven scenes. And it's a movie I don't really can't really say as a whole. I find it to be very scary, so that's definitely kind of interesting. But of course, it's classic. It's Jaws. It's Spielberg. That man could do everything. He did every type of movie, and I applaud that guy. Even if I didn't like the movie he did, I would still applaud him because he could do that type of movie. Because I don't like all types of movies. I've never been a big, surprisingly, I've never been a big war movie kind of guy. So Saving Private Ryan is like, Schindler's List is kind of, but he did them well. And even though I'm not really into those kinds of movies too much, gotta give him credit. Give credit where credit's due. We're not all gonna like every type of movie, so. Anyways, what are you guys saying about that in the chat? Let's just see. Do you guys find that whole scene to be freaky? Again, it's my number one jump scare of all time. Definitely my number one jump scare of all time. Facebook sucks. Jaws is a masterpiece. Yeah, it is. The whole movie's a masterpiece. But again, like I said, I'm one of those guys that's on the fence of even calling it a horror film. But that scene, it gets me, still to this day. Everything about it, the whole atmosphere through it. When Hooper's in the water too, he finds the tooth, and it's you think he's going to be attacked by the shark. Is the thing. You think the shark is coming. You're ready for that shark coming, and it doesn't come. It's unexpected, and I think that's why it works so well. Anyways. Facebook, you guys are just kind of mostly chatting amongst yourselves. I really need a moderator for my channel. That's one thing I don't have, is somebody who can choose things from the chat and put them up for me to read. Yeah, okay, cool. See that you see that. Oh man. You guys keep chatting. Drayton Sawyer says, you see that new Jaws 4K, Steve? No, I haven't. So they remastered it, I take it, in 4K kind of thing? Like, is that what it is? Or, God forbid, they're making another Jaws or something, or a remake in 4K. Don't tell me that. Hopefully not. Stephanie Diaz, I'm afraid of sharks, so it definitely scared the bejesus out of me. Hey, I was 8 years old when I first saw that. And, at the time I was watching, I was already watching it and I didn't know it was coming. My two brothers were already expecting something scary. I wasn't. I think I wasn't really expecting something scary. So when I first saw it, it didn't affect me quite as much. And then afterwards, it was one of those things afterwards, seeing it in my head. It affected me, I think. It's weird that way, because I was the only one that wasn't hiding under the blankets between me and my two brothers. And, yeah, anyways. I won't go on too much about that, but you know what I mean, right? Doomsday Kingdom Army, Jaws, definitely a classic. It's not scary for me either, but for people with a fear of water or sharks, it's horrifying. Put me on heights, I'd probably cry holding on for life. Oh, really? Okay. There you go. I'm not scared of heights. Heights never. I've always been okay with heights, as long as I know I'm not going to fall. So Like I've done like skywalks and stuff like that with, that's no problem for me. My little daughter had no problem with those too. But I can see why some people don't like that. Yeah, mastered in 4K. I figured as much. Watch Deep Blue Sea. They have 3 of them now. I've only seen the first one. I knew there was a second one, but didn't know about a third. Did not know that. Okay, that's enough about Jaws, I think. I love the movie. No, I love the movie, but we got to move on. Because I only have a few of these, so tonight I can talk a little bit more about them. I kind of rushed things last week because of the whole situation, so I apologize about that. I did kind of want to go into a little bit more depth on each jump scare, but because of the thing, I had to kind of speed through them a little bit. Anyways, so moving on. And again, love it or hate it. I know that this movie has a mixed bag of people. That some people love it, some people hate it. I love it, and I find that I was 11 when I first saw this. And that's the scene from Halloween 3 where the kids. Wow, the kid got it bad. This whole scene really. Just that shot actually is enough to terrify me. Actually, I mean, knowing what's happening and everything, and yeah, man, it affected me. That's for sure. Even though when I first saw it, I was so disappointed that Michael Myers wasn't in it. That scene sticks out as something. Very disturbing, seeing all the snakes and the bugs and whatever cockroaches and what crawling out from where his head used to be. And the reaction from his parents, even though it was maybe a little bit over dramatic, but man, it was that's terrifying though. And so a lot about that scene works so well. And yeah, when I rewatch it, like. The way the music gets more intense as it's going along, and the flashing gets more intense from the TV screen, I think that's brutal. I truly think that was one of the definitely what it was brutal. It's brutal. Yeah. What do you guys think of that scene from Halloween 3? The kid in the pumpkin mask getting his head melted and turned into all those wonderful creatures. It's pretty fucked in my opinion, And who knows what really happens at the end of Halloween 3? It's something I think I would be interested in a sequel to that. I'll just say that. I'd be interested in a sequel that still kind of keeps it a bit of a mystery. A little bit. Anyways, what are you guys saying in the chat? That Halloween 3 Doomsday Kingdom Army. That Halloween 3 scene was horrifying for me also as a kid. Guess because I was the same age as a kid. Yeah, I was probably about this. I was about 11 years old when I saw it. I figure that kid was about the same age. Maybe he could have been 9 or 10, I guess. But I know I was 11 when I saw that. Rob Mahoney, you have a group for Halloween 3. Am I in that one? I am in a couple of Halloween 3 groups, and I probably just didn't know it was yours. I know you have a few groups, so there you go. Mandy Cantone, I will say it for the millionth time, Halloween 3 is my favorite horror film. Awesome. It's not my favorite, but it made my top 10. It does make my top 10 horror films. And it was something I had to think about whether it made my top 10, but it does. It definitely does. And I totally respect that. And I can't respect people that don't like it simply because there's no Michael Myers in it. And I can't even agree with people when they say, well, it's a great movie, but they should have called it something else. They shouldn't have put the Halloween name on it. I have to disagree still with that because it is centered around Halloween. More so than any of the other films in the series, really. Halloween really has a lot to do with the plot of that movie. Whereas really, even the original Halloween, what does Halloween itself have to do? It's just the night that he came home. It just happened to be Halloween. I don't know. That's it's something to be argued for sure. I do definitely think that Halloween 3 deserves to be called Halloween 3. I've even said this in groups, in Facebook groups. The only movies I really consider to be Halloween movies are Halloween 1 and Halloween 3. The rest of them should just be spin-off movies called the Michael Myers saga. I just call them the Michael Myers saga because they're really Michael Myers movies. They're not Halloween movies, even though they always take place on Halloween. But to me, there needs to be more of a reason to call it Halloween. And I don't feel like any of the other sequels really have a reason to be called Halloween other than them taking place on Halloween. Just my opinion. Anyways, what are you guys saying in the chat? I gotta get back to your guys' chat. I know it's harder and harder for me to read all your guys' chats, so I'm sorry. So I'm definitely missing some tonight because there's quite a few of you tonight. Michelle Blasky. The Marge Gottman scene was, I could see that too. Yeah, had a hard time watching it, and would always turn away that part when that part came out. Yeah, you know what? I do kind of agree with you. I did think about putting that on here as well. I'll be honest, but the whole scene is to me, I guess that's a scary moment. It's a scary moment, but the scene as a whole, I think because it's contrasting with other things happening, it that's probably why I'd have to leave it off. But I see what you mean though. But it's going back and forth between two things, and I think that's why. Yeah, it's not solely focused on that happening. But yeah, I totally understand that for sure. Rob Mahoney, have a silver shamrock pumpkin mask, Steve. Ooh, that's something to collect, for sure. It has to have gone through final processing though. Make sure of that. Good Real Hunting, thoughts on Friday the 13th franchise? Big day for us and other channel on Friday the 13th reviews. Oh really? Brett, I've never been a big Friday the 13th guy, if I'm being honest with you. I thought you maybe knew that about me. I've never been huge on it, but I like the first movie quite a bit. I like the second one a little bit. After that, I don't know. It just kind of seems to, I don't know. It kind of starts to get to be the same old for me. For me, it is. I mean, I haven't really gone back and rewatched a lot of them though either, so maybe it's time I do. But yeah, they never really did much for me. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. I know a lot of people love Friday the 13th franchise, and it probably is. It's probably considered the biggest franchise in horror history. It's huge. It's just, it never really did much for me. I gotta be honest, man. I gotta be honest. It's like I said, I like the first movie. I'm okay with the second movie. And then after that, I don't know. It just kind of became a by the numbers franchise. It's like kill, 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 kill. And I just, I was having a hard time really, I would never get scared by it if I'm being honest. But to each their own. I know how loved it is among a lot of my fellow YouTubers. It's just never been my franchise. Filthy Dan is in the chat as well. Awesome. He says, my silver shamrock mask hurt me last October. You could say it was a misfire. I love it. Well, how does your face look? Show me a recent picture of your face there, Dan. Or is that a mask you've been wearing on your show? Drayton, sorry, Jason movies are fun, but not much to the story. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I guess they are fun, but I just kind of get bored of them after a while. Like I can watch one of them. There's some that are more unwatchable than others, obviously. Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, Jason Takes Manhattan. You know, I but even those, I mean, some people could still say those are fun, but at the end of the day, I mean, I want to watch a horror movie I want to watch horror movies that are actually either going to try to creep me out, be scared, or give me a really fun horror comedy just that I can laugh at, and give me something I can just have fun with. And I kind of don't feel the Friday the 13th films really do either of those. They're kind of in the middle where it's really just about kill, kill, kill. And there are some comedic moments in them, but not enough to really, for me to have a real good, fun horror watch with them anyways. Let's go away from that though. But, anybody else anything else I need to see? Just reading along. Doomsday Kingdom Army makes sense. Our creep factor experience with H3 makes movie. So, I don't know if you had a grammar issue there or not, John, but some don't have the same impact. Yeah, I mean, again, it's different strokes for different folks. Again, there's not a lot that I find scary. So again, I only have 7 scenes on here total. Scenes. Not 7 films. Even 7. I have less than 7 films because, one of them makes it on. One of them has 2 scenes. And so we'll look at that. And here we got Pam's death from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There probably were a few scenes from original TCM that I could put in for sure, but this was one I had to. It impacted me. There's something about her hanging from this meat hook and the way she's gripping it and, and screaming. It just looks so freaking terrifying. It looks so... And the way it happens, too. It's the way it happens so much better than the way they did it in the remake, sticking the guy on the meat hook. I still get baffled on why people like that scene in the remake. I don't know. I just don't get it. It's just so over dramatic to me. Whereas this is just it happens so quickly. He drags her into the room. She's screaming. You get that shot of the meat hook, and like, oh no, she's going on the meat hook, and she goes right on, and it happens so quickly that it's like. It's shocking. It's shocking, and it looks so real. I guess that's it. I mean, it just looks so real, and then he starts cutting up Kirk on the table, and I guess if there is any complaint from that, you think you would see some blood splattering up from Kirk's body. But again, I've heard that was one of the scenes they decided not to do blood because they're trying to get a PG rating on the movie. So it's not that they couldn't somehow get some blood splatter going. It's because they could have. They did get blood for Franklin's death, and it's kind of the same thing, really. So they could have, but they chose not to simply because they're trying to cut down the gore or something, which is really like hardly any gore. But yeah, I mean, it just feels so real, and that's probably the one scene that I really feel like Leatherface seems like he's a worker bee. He's just doing his job, and he's a slaughterhouse worker, and that's part of his job, is sticking meat on the hook, and and cutting up things. It just feels like that's his role, and I think that was definitely a big inspiration for the direction we're taking with our film as far as Leatherface goes, for sure. So I mean, I had to put that one on this list. I just did. Yeah, it's terrifying. Terrifying to me. It is. Again, I know I can see why some people wouldn't find it as scary. I don't know. To me, it is. It's what are you guys saying about that stuff? What's Filthy Dan saying here? For everything you just said about what you seek in horror, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer is one that hits certain terror factors from start to finish. That low budget really makes the film. I have not seen that yet. I've been meaning to check it out. It's on like Netflix or something too, isn't it? And for whatever reason, I haven't brought myself to see that one. So you know what, Dan? I gotta check that one out. There's a number of films I still have to check out. You never know that scenes might terrify me from certain movies. They don't. And you guys just remember to make sure to feel free to put any scenes that you guys find terrifying in the chat. I'll read them on air for sure if I see them. if the chat's not going too crazy. But yeah. That's all. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. And again, it was. I recall John Dugan even said in the family portrait documentary that when they screened the film back in '74, that was the scene where a lot of people just got out and walked out of the theater because it was too much, especially for that time. I can imagine that being too much. And it is. There's something very terrifying about it. I guess because you don't expect her to get killed so quickly like that, you know? It's to end up on that meat hook the way she does, and it's like, oh, you know. And she sells it on the meat hook too. I guess another reason why it baffles me why people say the acting in the original is bad. I'll never really fully understand that. Man, look at the way she sells that on that meat hook. She really does. Terry McMinn, you're awesome. Yeah, anyways, anything else interesting? Have you seen Terrifier on Netflix? I don't know. I haven't seen Terrifier yet. I know people keep telling me to see it. I've heard mixed things. I've never been much of a clown guy. I've never really, like, the It movies never did anything for me. I don't know. Maybe I'll like it. I don't know. I'll check it out. It's one of those movies that it doesn't look appealing to me, so that's why I haven't checked it out. But maybe I'll like it. You never know. I've heard mixed things about it. Okay, let's move on. Great scene, Steve. Awesome. Moving along. And again, you know, if you guys disagree with me, share that opinion too. If any of these scenes, tell me why any of these scenes that I mention, tell me why you don't think they're scary. I'm always interested to see your guys' perspective as well. Because, you know, I give you guys my perspective, and I want you guys to see my perspective, because I do have some unpopular opinions about certain things, both in stuff that I like and stuff that I don't like. But at the end of the day, there's reasons why I have those opinions, and I think it's always a matter of what affects you, because certain things affect people differently, and that's why we end up with the opinions we have. I think, you know, not everybody's the same, and yeah, whatever. I'm just rambling now. Okay, now here's another interesting one. Maybe not what people would expect from the original Halloween. The whole scene of Laurie walking over to the Wallace house after her friends have been killed. This shot, I chose this shot in particular. I had to actually do a still shot from the movie and send it to me, because I couldn't actually find this shot online anywhere. Like, nobody's got this shot. They always got the shot with Michael in it, but I wanted it without, because I think it's at this moment in this scene when she's slowly walking up the stairs, and you get this kind of POV movement from Laurie's perspective going up the stairs, and that music, that John Carpenter music kicks in, that bum 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 bum, you know that. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know. There's something so creepy about that, and the way the lighting is on the shades there, on the window shades. I think those are window shades. I don't think those are a closet. They could be. Hard to tell, but it looks like it's kind of off the ground. So I think it's a window shade. The lighting there is just phenomenal. I fucking love the lighting in that movie. I have to say, for a low budget movie, they really nailed the lighting in Halloween. The original Halloween, some of the best lighting choices. They had a great team, that's for sure. And the lighting there is just it sends shivers down my spine. That whole scene, all the way up until Michael coming out of the shadows too, and just barely kind of scraping her sleeve. But the light, everybody talks about that light, which is very, very good lighting. But all through that whole scene, the whole scene in the house, that was a well lit scene. That whole scene is well lit. I can only imagine how long that probably took to light. Who knows how they did it? They could have lit it per shot, but because there is multiple shots in there. But man, it was an awesome job for a low budget film. Awesome job. So, yeah, I just love that scene. It's it's as soon as it's one of those scenes. As soon as Laurie starts walking across the street, it does something. It does something, guys. It's I find it to be it's truly the best mood and atmosphere. What's his name always talks about. It's Me, Billy. Tomorrow we're gonna watch. We're gonna discuss it on Monday, guys. It's Me, Billy. I want to hear what everybody thinks of it. I've heard good things already. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for It's Me, Billy. But yeah, what was I talking about again? Kind of lost my train of thought there. Yes, Doomsday Kingdom Army. Yes, the music is really important to Halloween as a movie, which is kind of weird to think about because there's really not a lot of a score itself for Halloween. I believe John Carpenter was kind of rushed with doing the music, but the music he came up with was so impactful. It works to reuse pieces of music throughout the film, and that music is reused throughout the entire film. There's really like five or six real pieces of music altogether in Halloween. I think it's 6 now that I count it. But yeah, and maybe some slight variations on them, whatever. But yeah, there's really not a lot, and they're reused quite often in the film. But it works. You would think you would get bored of hearing the same piece of music over and over again, but it really works because they're so well composed, I think, that and they just have that creep factor. There's a certain way to the composition in the music that just makes it work so well. There's a certain formulaic thing that I think pretty much every piece that John Carpenter composed for that, there's a similar formula for each piece, and for each theme, and it really works. It really works. So, anyways, won't talk about that too much, but yeah. Doomsday Kingdom Army, I think there was a musician for Halloween and was fired, and Carpenter, maybe wrong. I didn't hear about that. I just knew that Carpenter had very little time to compose the score. It had to be done pretty quickly. So he came up with like 6 pieces of music. Six pieces of music for an entire movie is, for a feature film, it's unheard of. Like, even my short film Unseen has more than 6 pieces of music in it, and it's 12 minutes long. So I mean, but I don't reuse a lot. There's not a lot that gets reused. One of the pieces gets reused to a degree, I should say, once, but yeah, it's mostly something different every time, but similar beats still. Anyways, moving along because it's already 8:50. Holy crap! Holy crap! 8:50. Whatever. I don't have a ton of films to talk about really though. So I only got 3 more films to talk about. So we'll talk about them. Let's talk about the end of the Blair Witch Project. Now, inside that creepy house, I chose this shot because there's something about those kids' handprints on the walls that just creeps the fuck out of me. Even though it's blurry, it's 90s video cam, handheld handycam shot, poor quality, blurry as hell. Still looks creepy as fuck. It just goes to show you not everything needs a 4K camera or a high expense. It just it worked for what it was, and that whole ending. As soon as they hit that house, as soon as I see that house, I'm like, whoa, that house was creepy as hell. It's been my kind of inspiration for the Sawyer house in my film, Grandpa's house in my film, because I wanted a different house than what was in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I always was like, that house at the end of Blair Witch. And again, this is another movie like Halloween 3. People either love it or hate it. It seems nobody's really too in the middle with it. But I'm one of those that did love it, whether it was shot on shaky cam and whatever. I didn't care. None of that really bothers me. It's just another film that looks very, very real, even though there's supernatural elements, I guess, to an extent. You never see them, but you feel like something supernatural has caused everything. It's the actors sell it. The actors really sell it, and the quality of everything, just the way it looks so real, just it sells it so well. But yeah, when that ending came and it's like, oh, there's a house. Mikey says, like, okay, here's our climactic ending. And the whole scene was terrifying all the way up until the very end, in my opinion. The screams that Heather was making, well, I guess she was being dragged, or who knows what was really happening to her. It's one of the few movies, horror films I've had the opportunity to see in theater. And it affected me. And I felt so weird because a lot of the friends I was with didn't affect them. They're like, that's it, that's a rip, everybody, I guess I'm different from my friends. I am a little different from my friends, but that's okay. I was always different. But yeah, it's, I don't know. I personally, I think it's mostly the house itself. They found the best freaking house possible. It's like how the hell did they find that house? Who knows how they actually found it? The filmmakers, that is, because man, it's one of a kind. There's one in a million. I can tell you from my experience now, scouting for houses in Texas, working with 3 people down there to find me a house that's going to be at least as terrifying looking or even more terrifying looking as the house that we have in our teaser. Going through ups and downs, finding places that look good, but it's like, oh, there's issues. It's a 1 in a million. They found a 1 in a million kind of house. And, man, I definitely hope I can find something that's going to live up to that in the Sawyer Massacre, because it has to. Otherwise, I might end up still filming it here in Canada, because the house we have here in Canada has been scarier than all the ones we found in Texas so far. Mind you, I shouldn't say that, because we did find a house in Texas. It's just the surrounding area wasn't. Damn it, the damn surrounding. So these creepy houses exist. I have found a couple more that we're getting their location manager onto. We'll see what happens. I'll let you guys know as soon as we do find a house, by the way. That's getting off topic, though. What are you guys saying in the chat? I know some people don't like Blair Witch Project, and that's cool. I loved it. It's in my top 5 horror films of all time. But I know that people don't like it, and I kind of get why. It just again, it's different strokes for different folks. So what are you guys thinking here? I think horror has gone visceral, but music score is forgotten. Yeah, I can agree with that to a point, for sure. Music sound missing in most horror films. Yeah, I mean it's there. I mean, and it's high quality music. The sound, now it's about how good the sound design is, or how good the sound mixing is and mastering, rather than what's a creepy sound. What's creepy music. I rarely watch a horror film that I remember the music to afterwards, or I remember the sound design to, because it's about having it sound more polished than anything else. So yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Have you seen Blair Witch 2? We're talking Book of Shadows, right? Book of Shadows. I have a long time ago. I didn't really like it. And I saw the new one too, the 2016 Blair Witch. Didn't like it. I wanted to like it. And the ending wasn't bad. I kind of like the theme they're going for, but man, some of the acting in that film, some of the jump scares in that film, fuck. Terrible. Worst jump scares ever. Anyways. What else? Is Grandpa the main focus in my film? I'm guessing. If so, his brutality gonna be awesome. Before wheelchair corpse. Looking forward to the Sawyer. Okay, thank you. He's not the main focus in our film. In fact, he's still old and he's still in a wheelchair or a rocking chair. I guess he was pretty much in a rocking chair in the original, but. We might do wheelchair rather than walking chair. I don't know. Because he's still really old. You got to remember that. He's still really old. He was supposed to be like 127 in the original. So, I mean, our movie is set 8 years before. So he's still like 119. If that's the right age. He's over 100. We'll just definitely say that. So he's still old, but he can talk. I think that was the one element I needed to bring because in our film. So thank you for that, John. But yeah, you're more than anything, you're going to get some insight through his dialogue more than anything else. You're not going to see him physically do anything because he's still freaking old. I'm not bad with math. Some of these prequels and sequels seem to be bad with math. It was kind of a cool looking teaser a number of years back. I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago. Somebody just made a promo teaser for, I believe it was called The Best There Ever Was, which was a Grandpa prequel. The problem I have with it was well shot. Some of the acting was a little choppy in it, but well shot. Definitely shot on a fairly high budget. The thing I don't like is that Grandpa though is like 50 in this trailer. We'll say he looks about 50-ish, and Leatherface is a kid. Well, if you do the math on that, and if he was 127 in the original, and Leatherface is like 9 or 10 here, it's you're going to be telling me that Leatherface is like 80 in the original? It's things like that. It didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So. And even if you would think that Grandpa was even say 100 in the original and Leatherface, the math is still way off. So I things like that kind of bother me. They kind of bother me, but people want to make what they want to. I think a Grandpa prequel would be kind of cool. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do a Grandpa prequel. But I think, it would be cool to see something around the turn of the century, around the end of Victorian times when Grandpa is young, fairly young still, and really see him be the killer. But Leatherface shouldn't be in there anywhere because he shouldn't be born. He wouldn't even be born. Anyways, that's just some food for thought. Some of you guys' chats, they get me going sometimes, And it's already 9 o'clock and I still haven't finished this list. Still got a couple more. Where was I? You really need to go talk to me and what Vinny C could do to save you on budget. Maybe. I should see. I know Vinny does a lot of cool stuff, that's for sure. Can he build me a house that... Anyways, I thought the recent Blair Witch was crafty. Yeah, I thought it was. I was hoping for something better. I thought it could be better. They had an interesting marketing campaign. First calling it The Woods or something like that. I thought it was kind of neat, and then it was like, surprise! It's a new Blair Witch movie. But they did that too soon before the movie came out. They needed to do that like a week before the movie came out, not like a month or two. That didn't make sense to do that. But it was a good idea, though. Book of Shadows, yeah, I'll take horror movie music unpolished. Yeah, I kind of agree, man. It can be polished. There's nothing wrong with polish, but at the end of the day, give me something that's that sounds gritty and I don't know. It sounds like it wasn't just like a random sound effect that was picked on. You know what I mean? That you got a sound effects board and, hey, here's that. Whatever. Does this jump scare cue sound generally creepy and ambiguous? I don't hear it, Dan. Are we talking about Blair Witch there? They're probably, I don't know, it's every 2 minutes for the first half of the film. Every 2 minutes, it was just the same one. It's like, what are they trying to accomplish with that? Same one. You do that once, I'm okay with it. But then it just got on my nerves after a while. Oh, man. I have to use that idea. Oh, God. All American Massacre, I think, has a younger grandpa. Oh, does it? See, you never really know because I guess it's kind of I don't really know everything about All American Massacre. Does anybody ever seen the full thing? I don't know. Did they even finish it? All American Massacre. It'll never be released apparently, but whatever. If the movie ever comes, I doubt it. I don't know if maybe one day there's some sort of legal reasons why it won't come out. I know that. Vinny does okay, cool. Well, I should talk to him. Build me a house for nothing, though. He's got to build me a house for nothing. A full house. At least the outside. I don't know. The other thing is basements are really tough to come by in Texas, too. We found one, but it's a little bit far from our home base of Austin. A little bit far. It's about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive. And I'm like, might be my only choice though, because basements are really rare in Texas, and to find what I'm really looking for, it's gonna be tough. But I'm looking. Again, I got 3 people scouting for me right now, and a location manager. We'll see what we come up with. But yeah, I should let you guys know my sort of cutoff date to have all this kind of stuff ready, locations, and knowing whether the border is opening up. My cutoff is June 30th, which is my birthday, by the way. June 30th. I got to know enough of this stuff. I have to have at least my main locations, and I have to know when the border is opening up. If I don't know when, then I have to push it to spring. There's just no choice. If they tell me, okay, border's not opening up till September 21st, well, we can make an October 1st start date work with that. And that would be the latest I would push it this year. Just so you guys know. Because I want to shoot it in Texas. We're so financially we're pretty much there. We're pretty much there. A few bucks here and there will definitely put us over the edge. Again, we want to be a little bit more comfortable. We want to be able to have more gore and have more shooting days and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, financially, we're pretty much there. It's more It's more of the legalities. I have to be able to cross the border. I think it's gonna open up by September, but I don't. Who know? Again, until I actually know for sure, can't do anything about it. Anyways, so yeah, June 30th, you guys are gonna hear a yay or nay from me on when if we're shooting in September or October, or pushing it to March next year. I hope we don't have to, but you know what, man? Got to be ready. Got to be ready. And if we're not, we're not. Anyways, moving along here, because it's already 9:06. Holy crap. Holy crap. I got to finish here in like 10 minutes, and I still got 2 more movies to talk about. We're going to go with, from the original Black Christmas, Billy's eye scene, revealed to Jess. That whole scene leading up to it. All the way from pretty much Nash on the phone. The call is coming from inside the house, and the way the shots are during this whole scene, and she's calling up the stairs for Barb and Phil, and you get that cool shot through the stair railing. It kind of gives that presence of she's trapped almost. I guess that's kind of what it feels like. And then, leading up to Billy's eye here, which is creepy as fuck, by the way, just looking at this shot, and his dialogue, it just, it's freaking creepy. I mean, I don't know. I can see why people might not find that to be creepy, but, and there was more than one scene I was thinking of putting from Black Christmas as well. I was thinking of putting more than one scene, because there's a couple other scenes in this movie, like the ending, for example, or Mrs. Mack's death, and then Billy's rage right after that in the attic. That's creepy. There's something really creepy about all that, and well, it's super well done. And I almost should have put that. I think I almost should have put that one in. Because I think it's great. It's kind of the first time you really get to find it. The first time in the movie you get to find out anything about Billy, even though it's not with any words or anything. You get to see that, okay, this guy's pretty unhinged, and he's obviously got some problems. The way he raged in the attic like that, it was like, okay, this guy's got some issues, But it's great. And it's scary at the same time, because it's like you're getting more of an idea of how unhinged this guy is, and what he's capable of, and yeah. So for that, I almost should put that one in this list as well. But if I had to pick just one scene from Black Christmas that I truly find scary, it's that scene. The eye, his eye in the door crack. Yeah. And then again, Agnes, it's me, Billy. And you always kind of wonder what really happened. I always wonder what really happened to Agnes. What is Agnes still alive, or did he kill Agnes, or did she get away, or like, we know that it's his younger sister, his baby sister, but we get that much, but there's some questions for sure. There's some questions. I'm interested. Anyways, what are you guys saying? Dude has been doing construction 40 years. His Dios, he does on any scale. I'm telling you, he'd be a huge asset. Okay, maybe. The thing is, we'd have to build a house for free, pretty much for free. That's I'm sure he can do it. I'm sure a lot of people could do it. It's just the cost. Building a house is not cheap. I think that's my big concern. But I should be in touch with him and just see if you think he could make it happen. Because I guarantee you this, we'll definitely have the land to shoot it on. There's one thing I can get is landscape. I keep everybody I talk to in Texas, like, you can use my land, you can use my land, you can use my land. So I think we could definitely find the land to build it on. It's just, do we have money to build it? But maybe I'll talk to Vinny and see. You never know. Maybe we just need to raise more money. Hey, Vinny, can you build an entire house that looks old and abandoned? Can you do this for a couple grand? Maybe we make it happen, eh? 'Cause I pretty much know the exact architecture I want and everything, That's one thing I have to say I'm sure about. Anyways. Damn, the government guys in spacesuits coming in. House in E.T. really messed me. Really? Oh, okay. Yeah. No, it never really did much for me. I mean, I was affected by it, but I never found it too scary, though. But I could see why. Rob Zombie's Halloween Michael escaped pumpkin mask when he escaped. Used to scare me when I was 8 or 7. Rob Zombie's Halloween escaped pumpkin mask when he escaped. See, I don't even remember that. Did he have a pumpkin mask? I seen it once, if I'm being honest with you, Christian. Nothing scared me from that. I guarantee he'll do. Trust me. Oh, thank you, Dan. Thanks, man. Well, I got him on Facebook too, but yeah, talk to him. We'll see what we can do. Maybe we can work something out. Maybe we can somehow work something out. Remember, our next Indiegogo is live now, so let's. I would like to pay him for doing something. That's for sure. But at this point, we wouldn't have budget for that. Okay, so finally, the last thing I want to talk about is probably not a big surprise, but the Texas Chainsaw Massacre dinner scene. It's iconic. It's, there are a number of scenes I could pick from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but really stand out this one, and of course the Pam's death. It's kind of where all chaos just kind of lets loose, and it's like, oh my god, when is this nightmare going to end? And you really feel the nightmare that poor Sally is having through this whole thing. Kind of waking up from being unconscious for God knows how long, and just it's like, oh my god, this is real. It's being in that, oh my god, that wasn't a dream. That I didn't dream that. I didn't dream that old 127-year-old guy sucking on my finger, and it wasn't a dream. Franklin's really dead. All my friends are probably really dead. This happens, and it's still happening, and you feel that. You feel it. You can't help it. And yeah, I mean, I've probably talked about this scene in the past. I've talked Texas Chainsaw Massacre so much. There's a reason why it's my favorite. It's my favorite horror film. In my opinion, it's the scariest film ever made. It's because it's a freaking terrifying movie. And when you put yourself in the situations, and I've probably said this before, I tend to watch that scene, and I have a hard time watching it thinking it's a movie. It feels so real that you get drawn into it and you start living that nightmare with her. I think that's what's so powerful about it. The ending too. I mean, the ending when you see her screaming on the truck, getting away from that nightmare. It's part of you is happy you got away, but the other part is like, I'm mentally fucked for life. Do I even really need to live anymore? Yeah. Which is another reason why I'm really so disappointed in the news I heard about the test screenings. I don't know if that guy's still in the chat or not, but I heard what they did with Sally, and it just doesn't work for me. It does not work for me. I can see why it would work for some people, but yeah. Anyways, what was I gonna say? But yeah, I mean, anything you guys have to add about that particular scene? But for those reasons, I mean, again, this wasn't a ranking video or nothing. It's not. I saved it for last, obviously, because I mean, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Would I rank it my number one? Maybe. But again, this wasn't really a ranking. I didn't really feel like I should rank these. So if you thought I was ranking them, I wasn't really ranking them. This was just kind of the order I felt like talking about them. I hope that's cool. And I hope you guys are all doing good. And yeah, we'll definitely see you guys all on Monday. Monday at 8 p.m. So Monday show will be at 8 p.m. And then I think the following week, which I believe will also be a Monday show. We're going to do 2 Monday shows in a row. That one, I think, will be the one where we move to 7 o'clock. If you guys are okay with that. Again, just making sure you guys know because, well, I don't want it to be a surprise for you guys. Excuse me. I think this is seeing Sally wasn't acting at all. Yeah, wasn't all acting. Definitely not all acting. Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people were really acting by that point. I think everybody was just had become their character because of the insanity and the heat, the insanity, the smells of all the dead carcasses and rotten head cheese and whatever. It was so hard to be yourself probably by that point and not believe that what you're in the middle of doing was real. So yeah, very true. I think she was really mentally messed up from filming TCM. Probably. It's too bad that she couldn't have been a part of reprising her role in this new movie since they're bringing Sally back. I think that might be a misfire on this new film, by the way. In my opinion, that might be what because they're looking at Halloween 2018. And a big thing with the big selling feature with Halloween 2018 is Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back. Oh, Nick Castle is coming back, even though it was pretty small for Nick Castle. But yeah, it was all these people coming back from the original, and it was like we're bringing these people back together. It's a reunite. We're reuniting these people. Well, with TCM, we're not really doing that. We're bringing the character of Sally back, but it's not Marilyn Burns. So, yeah, that's it doesn't feel the same. It won't have that same effect. And just I think what they're doing with the character just doesn't fit, from what I heard, anyways. Again, who was that earlier in the chat said there he saw it. He was at that test screening. I don't know if that was Mr. H's source or not, but I can't find whoever that was. Can't remember the name now. I have to go back and look. But I just think it's the wrong approach. I think they're trying too hard to copy that formula, and I just don't think it's going to work for this new film. And he said they're going to do reshoots. Are they really, though? I mean, reshoots are tough now. Reshoots are very, very tough now because of COVID. And I don't know if from what it sounded like, reshoots, you pretty much need to reshoot the whole movie. Maybe not. But I just heard bad thing after bad thing, and just shaking my head. Sound like they'd need a lot of reshoots. Anyways. Maddie Cantone says good night. Laser reviewer, can't blame her if she got messed up from the film. Yeah. I mean, she wasn't young when she passed away. So I don't know if it wasn't permanent damage, that's for sure. But, well, I know that Marilyn Burns was a heavy smoker. I think that was probably what contributed to her down, you know. Apparently she was a really nice gal from the people that I have met that have known her. There's been a couple people. Apparently she was a really, really nice person, but smoked like a chimney, apparently. Which, you know, doesn't surprise me. You listen to her talk and you can tell. New York Giants fan. Yes, that's who it was. New York Giants fan. Don't know what to expect with this new one. Yeah, with the Yeah, with the reviews, I don't know. I try to take it with a grain of salt, but it does not sound good. Anyways, Christian Spencer, what's your favorite Leatherface mask, Steve? I did a whole video on that. Go back and check it out. But it's the Pretty Woman mask from the original. That's my favorite. Who knows? We might knock these masks out of the park with our new film. I think we will. We have a great SFX artist, and maybe one of them will be my new favorite mask. I hope to be able to show you guys a little tease of some of the masks soon, because I know some of the are both they're coming along. I know that they're coming along. I would like to give you guys kind of a tease of some of the masks, but we'll see, or at least one of the masks. I'd like to give a tease of one of the masks. Anyways, she's only 65 now. Not very old. Not very old. That's too bad. But, people die younger. That's true. So, anyways. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I think that's pretty much going to do it for me tonight there, guys. It's 9:21, so I got to skedaddle and get ready for the wife to come home. So, you guys have been awesome. So, see you guys on Monday, and make sure you have watched It's Me, Billy, because I'll be discussing that. It'll be full spoiler talk. It'll be... it's just a big discussion. It's not a review on the film or nothing like that. But I am going to give my thoughts on it and tell you what I liked and what I didn't like and all that kind of stuff. But it sounds like it's going to be a good movie. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like it's going to be great. So let's look forward to that. But yes, make sure you guys all have watched it by then so we can get into spoilers. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. 8 p.m. Pacific on Monday. See you guys then. Thank you all for tuning in. You guys are awesome.